Episode 36 of Wonderful Precure made history for the franchise by having two main characters get into a romantic relationship. Shocking. And, well, it is shocking. As anyone who's seen at least a couple of Precure seasons could tell you, Precure doesn't really do romance. Especially not like this. The biggest thing that's surprising about Satoru and Iroha dating is that it's actually good. Let's back up a bit here. In the early seasons, the futariwas, if you will, the protagonist of each had a crush on a boy, but that was the total extent of romantic exploration. Both were crushes on boys older than them, and both inevitably ended up going nowhere. It seemed like the crushes were more present to tick a box than add to the story, since such romantic interests were a staple of the genre at the time. Of course, the fans have run with the relationships between the girls in those seasons, and many others, but said ships do remain non-canon. Canonically, there was never any epic Nagi-Hono relationship, only a crush on Fuji-P that went nowhere. Precure wouldn't dare make either ship a real thing. In Yes 5 and its sequels, there was a prominent romantic element. Unfortunately, this was Nozomi and Koko mainly, or in other words, a girl and her middle school teacher. So, yikes, Precure. Even then, the relationship wasn't official and took a backseat to other things, until they got married in Otona. It was gross and never the point. In Fresh, we had yet another crush that went nowhere. They spiced it up that time by giving it to a boy and getting him to actually tell her he liked her, only to pull the rug and not give us any proper conclusion. As one of, 3 Daisuke fans, I'm sorry, Daisuke, you deserved better. After that, they kind of stopped adding romantic subplots to the seasons at all. None of the actual canon romantic interests had gone anywhere in the 6 seasons they'd done already, and honestly, it was wise to move away from that going forward. It wasn't working, so they discarded it. I wasn't part of the fandom back then, but I can only imagine that Precure's reputation for not exactly hitting gold on the romantic angle was already well known. They tried again with Happiness Charge, but that also didn't go anywhere. Then they almost did lesbians a couple times, but didn't commit to it. And then all the way in 2022, we got Takumi and Yui in Delicious Party. Takumi's crush on Yui was set up in the very first episode, and was often called out or referenced by Mari-chan, and was in fact part of Takumi's motivation. And they never did anything with it. She never got to know he liked her, and we never got any substantial evidence that she liked him back. Even as someone who actually really liked a lot about Delicious Party, I just didn't ship them. Because there was nothing there, and everyone had been burned before. When Delicious Party was coming out, I'd see the rare fan art or two of Takumi and Yui together, but I never saw anyone talking about them. Because no one cared. In the end, the ship came to nothing anyway, and it was simply accepted that the best we were ever going to get was almost lesbians and useless pining. That's just how it was. Until now, suddenly. Despite never getting on board with Takumi and Yui's doomed situation, I was actually rooting for Iroha and Satoru day one. Did I actually think anything was going to come of it? No, absolutely not. But the day the opening was revealed way back in January, I saw that little scene of them reading a book together on a bench, with Komugi worming her way between them, and my heart melted. That one scene reminded me of stories my dad tells of his own dog getting between him and my mom while they were dating. I thought it was cute, so I latched onto it. The best I thought I was going to get was a pointless crush, probably from Satoru. I would get excited every time one of them blushed, and then I'd move on with my life after the season ended. That's what I thought was going to happen. That's what everyone I talked to about them thought was going to happen. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. Sorry, I'm still reeling. Satoru's crush, instead of falling by the wayside, ended up as a truly recurring element, even becoming a large crux in his relationship with Mayu by proxy. It became important to the plot, and even if he said he wasn't going to confess, his respect for her and genuine care was already worlds better than most Precure attempts at this. But then, of course, he did confess. And she confessed back. In a beautiful scene that knocked the entire fandom on their butts, because not only was it the very bare minimum, but it was good. I cried during the episode, it was so potent, and I'm not the only one. Precure did it. This is a good canon ship for the first time in their 2-decade-plus history. With caring about the couple proved to be worthwhile, I got to witness the fandom stand up in support of them, everyone just as dumbfounded as me. I've been here since day one of this ship, and I've been around Precure long enough to know just how miraculous it is that this actually happened. I won life. Wonderful Precure is a communication-themed season. It makes perfect sense for them to show characters communicating all sorts of feelings, including romantic. It makes sense that they would show a romantic relationship, something that requires just as much, if not more, communication than other kinds of relationships, and it is so important for the kids this show is made for to see a healthy relationship on screen. It all makes sense, but no one actually thought it was going to happen. But it did, and now the bar has been irreparably raised. I don't think we need another Iroha and Satoru level event every season going forth, since Precure isn't really about romance, but they've proven that they can do it without being cowards or creepy. It's a time to celebrate and look forward to the possibilities, and hope to everything that they do not backslide. Oh my gosh. This ship has become really important to me through this year, but especially in the last couple of weeks. I might do another video diving into the ship itself and why I love it so much, but for now, I'm just excited that it exists. If you do want to see that video, leave a comment and I'll see what I can do. Until next time!